Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. When it comes to zero torque putters, did you really think the big brands like Odyssey were gonna let the smaller brands have all the fun? Say hello to the Odyssey Ai-One Square to Square zero torque putters. So the whole idea behind the Odyssey Ai-One Square to Square putters is to go with what's called zero torque. That means that the balance and the weighting of the putters is not gonna be such that it wants to innately open or close as you make your stroke. One of the ways to make these putters work is that engineers and designers, when they're making a zero torque putter, have to create what's referred to as onset. That means that the hitting area, the face, is going to be well in front of where the shaft enters into the clubs. Now, in the case of the Odyssey Ai-One Square to Square, the designers have added the shaft directly into the back of the head here. It's going to be well behind the top line, and it actually enters into the head just a few millimeters towards the toe from where the center of gravity is located. It doesn't go in directly on top of the center of gravity. The center of gravity location is just to the heel side of where this is. That is what is creating this sort of toe up type of balance. These putters are balanced in such a way that they want to stay square to the stroke that you are naturally making, to your stroke's path, whether that is a relatively straight back, straight through swing, whether that is an arced stroke, or whether that is a significantly arced stroke. It really doesn't matter. The weighting of this putter is such that the face doesn't want to either open or close as you're making your stroke. It wants to stay square. Now, if you manipulate your hands, if you add a lot of extra wrist motion, you can certainly open up the face or close the face, but the putter isn't going to really do that. If you let this swing, it wants to stay square. That means squaring it at the moment of impact, bringing it back to square, and starting putts on your intended target line should be a lot easier. Now, in addition to being balanced and weighted so that they are going to have this toe-up balance and zero torque design, the Odyssey Ai-One Square to Square putters have the Ai-One White Hot face. Now, this face was brought out about a year ago in the original Ai-One putters. And the big deal about it is going to have the white hot urethane face insert that a lot of players have really enjoyed for about 2 decades now. But while the outside of this face may look like an ordinary face, on the other side of it, you are going to have a series of ridges and thicker areas and thinner areas that have been designed using artificial intelligence. And the whole idea is to try and normalize ball speed across a wider portion of the face. So when you strike a putt in the sweet spot, it's going to roll out to the distance that you had intended. However, if you miss it out towards the toe or towards the heel, it's going to roll out much farther than it otherwise would have. So you're going to have more consistent distance control, better distance control. And that can end up being a really deadly combination. If you are squaring the putter face to your target line more consistently because of the balance and because of the zero torque, and you're getting better distance control because of the face insert, well, all of a sudden, you're probably going to be putting putts a lot closer to the hole a lot more often. One of the biggest advantages I think that the Ai-One Square to Square putters might have over other zero torque putters, in addition to having that artificially intelligence designed face, is that they look so familiar. The mallets are the Jailbird, which is a super popular design, as well as the number 7, which might actually be the most popular mid-size mallet of, say, the last decade. Then you've got the DW, which is a wide-flanged, heel-toe weighted blade-style putter. So right away, the shapes of these are going to be super familiar, and that's going to be a big selling point, I think, for a lot of people when it comes to considering square to square. I mean, the Jailbird putter has been around for a long time. A putter that looks really just like this was used by Wyndham Clark to win the 2023 US Open. Ricky Fowler, who was paired with him in the final group that day, used this putter to be in contention that week and then to win the Rocket Mortgage Classic. There are still a lot of Jailbirds that are out there with this distinct Versa black and white sort of pattern on. It's super easy to align and it looks very familiar. At this point, just about every company out there that makes putters has some type of a fang style mallet like the classic number 7, but this is the original one. This is the number 7 right here. So again, a lot of familiarity with this shape. And then when you get into this putter right here, the double wide, this is a slightly large, what I would refer to as a modern styled center shafted heel-toe weighted blade putter. It's going to look like a putter that most golfers have at one point or another had in their bag. So while a lot of zero torque putters have a very odd or peculiar look to many golfers, and it's something that they have to get over if they want to use them, when it comes to Ai-One Square to Square, these putters are going to be easy for people to put in their bags because there's a good chance they've already been using something just like this. Now, in addition to having looks that are going to be really familiar to people, I think another one of the big advantages the Odyssey Ai-One Square to Square putters is going to have is the price. While many of the zero torque putters are starting at around $450 and then going up, the square to square putters are going to be $299. Now don't get me wrong, $299 for a putter is still a lot of money, and it's going to be out of reach for some golfers, to be sure. However, it's going to be about half the price of a custom fit putter that is going to have zero torque from a lot of other manufacturers that are already in this area. Plus, Odyssey obviously has a lot of distribution. You're going to be able to see the square-to-square putters in a lot of different places and give them a try. So I think just the fact that they're going to be out at a lot of golf specialty stores in numbers in the weeks ahead, the fact that the price is going to be below $300 means that a lot of people who've been thinking about going into zero torque, but maybe have been priced out of it or haven't seen a lot of zero torque putters that they can try, even if it's on the carpeting at their local pro shop, they're going to see square-to-square, and I think that gives Odyssey a big advantage. So with Odyssey making these putters available to me, what were my impressions of them now that I've had an opportunity to roll some putts with all of them on the practice green? Well, number one, I think this is the easiest transitioned putter family. If you're thinking about going from a traditional putter into something with zero torque, this family of putters to me is the easiest one to get into. Some of the stuff that had previously been out there from companies like Evenroll had a minimal amount of onset, so it made those putters a little bit easier from a forward press standpoint. When you look down at the Jailbird, for example, it looks exactly like, to me, the Jailbird putters that have been super popular for about the last 2 or 3 years. Yes, you see that onset. There's no getting around that if you want to get the zero torque balance thing right. But it's a very, very easy putter to look down to. And I really like, and have always liked, the white hot AI insert. Now, people may sort of turn their nose up at the whole idea of artificial intelligence and how much is it really going to help my distance control. For me, I think that the way that the ball comes off of the white hot insert has always been fantastic. It's that just right blend of that sort of crispness, that not quite to the milled putter sort of family level of sharpness that you get, which a lot of players like from their putter. It has just the right mix of softness coming off the face with crispness. I realize I'm sort of talking out of two sides of my mouth here, but you get what I'm saying. There's a reason why this insert has been around for the better part of 2 decades, and it's been super popular on the PGA Tour. If you combine the feel of that insert with enhanced distance control, with the ability of this face to stay square to my path, and it definitely felt like this putter wanted to swing itself. I really felt when I was using, especially the Jailbird, this thing was just on railroad tracks. As soon as I turned back and came through the ball, it just wanted to stay square. It was a really easy putter for me to go ahead and swing. When you start combining all of these things, you've got the recipe for making a lot of putts. Remember, to make putts, you've got to do 3 things. You've got to judge the line, you have to gauge the speed on that line in order to get the ball to the hole, and you have to return the putter face back to the ball on your swing in such a way that you're going to get the ball rolling on that intended path. And I think with these putters, with the Ai-One Square to Square, it does a lot to help you make that happen. One of the things I think that was really smart that Odyssey did was that they made standard this jumbo grip. So it's going to be something that's automatically going to be easy for players to put their thumbs right up onto the top. Some players, when they go in with zero torque, like to putt with their thumbs either off or just basically just hanging down. This grip, I think, for this type of putter matches up very, very well. It's something that just encourages you to take your hands and wrists out of the stroke and just let the putter swing. So that's just about everything I think that you need to know about the new Odyssey Ai-One Square to Square putter family. But if you have any more questions or if you have some comments, be sure to drop them in the comment area below. And if you're already in a zero torque putter, I'd be fascinated to hear how you got into it, which one you're using, what your experiences were with it, and if it's helped your game get a lot more consistent on the greens. If you've got any other putter questions or any other comments, I'm happy to try and answer anything about the Ai-One Square to Square, about Odyssey putters or putters in general. So I try and monitor my comment area as best I can and answer people's questions. So if you got some good information out of this video, if you liked what you saw, it'd be fantastic if you would like it, as well as subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a lot. Thanks a lot, and I look forward to seeing you again real soon.